I don't want to. Ah, yes. The beautifully horrific world of Dark Souls 2. A game with some of the worst hitboxes I've ever seen. Absolutely terrible, but honestly kind of funny AI. And the absolute jokes that are the bosses in this game. Dark Souls 2 is an absolute mess of a game. But despite its flaws, I still love this game a lot. And I think it's worth playing. Well, for the most part. But anyways, today, my friends, I'm going to be showing y'all how to have a W start in Dark Souls 2. Alright, first things up, if you didn't make your character yet because you're a you're going to go and spawn in this area. Now, after wandering around for a bit, you'll run into this shack thingy over here, and once you go inside, you'll get bullied by some old ladies until you get to name your character. For the starting class, I'd personally recommend the Knight class since it's the one I went, and I think it's pretty good, but it's really up to you, whichever class you want to use. Now, as for the starting gift,
Go with the healing. I promise you, Batman, every other one is absolute shit.
now after creating your character, you're going to actually play the game. Go through the tutorial that you can't even finish, because some dumbass put a statue here. Now, once you make it to Majula, my personal favorite Souls hub, go ahead and decide if you want to commit murder or not. As for what that means, there's a merchant guy in this building, and ending his existence will give you his armor set. His armor set increases the amount of souls you get, which early game, and pretty much at any point in the game, can be extremely OP. But, on the other hand, you won't be able to get certain items, like the Elite Knight set from Dark Souls 1, and the Alva set, as well as various boss items. But pretty much, you just have to spend a certain amount of souls on him in order to unlock those items. So if you want anything he has, then go ahead and do that. If not, fucking kill him. And by the way, if you do kill him, you can actually still buy stuff from him, you just gotta interact with his grave, which will allow you to purchase any items you've unlocked from him. Although it does cost 5,000 to talk to his ghost. Now make sure you go over to this well. It has the Estus Flask shard, which, upgrades your Estus Flask, obviously. And find this woman. She literally gives you your Estus Flasks, and then, you can upgrade it through her whenever you find more shards. So, yeah. Make sure you get that bonfire, too. Another tip is that up here is actually a covenant, and if you join it, it essentially will make it to where enemies can respawn. Yes, in Dark Souls 2, after you kill enemies a certain amount of times, they stop respawning. But with this, they respawn again. However, it makes them more difficult to face, but it's pretty much worth it. Only for farming. If you're not farming, turn that off for the love of God. Now, enough of Majula. Go through that tunnel right there. Eventually, you'll end up here, which is where we're going to do several things. Grab the bonfire at the beginning to the right, make your way through this area without dying, and do not interact with any of the levers, since that'll completely mess up a boss cheese we're going to do in a second. But eventually, you'll end up here. Now down there, you'll actually see that there is a chest. You need to go ahead and distract the knight, do a little bit of juking until eventually all the enemies are a little bit away from it, and then you can get the item, which in it is a ring that decreases the amount of health loss after each death. Yes, in Dark Souls 2, whenever you die, you lose chunks of your health permanently, unless you use a human effigy. Now remember... Oh my god! Now remember that fog gate you saw earlier that I didn't mention at all? Go ahead and go to that. In it, there is a boss. We can cheese him. Count his first 7 steps, and then do this. Back at Majula, go through that tunnel. Eventually, you'll end up in the forest of fallen giants. Make sure you grab the first bonfire in this area too. It's gonna be pretty difficult, but eventually you'll end up at this door, which once you go inside, there's a bonfire and also an old hag that we're gonna want to trade with. Now, if you spend about 10,000 souls on this old lady, then you'll get the Silver Serpent Ring, which increases the amount of souls you get. Now, this is where you just gotta trust in the process. Go ahead and get the Pharaoh's Lockstone and also some fire bombs. Don't gotta get as many as I got. I just don't really care about leveling up in this run, so yeah. Now, for the fire bombs, they have 2 uses. The first one being this. A shortcut, and then later on a boss cheese. Now you're gonna go have to run your little all the way over here, until eventually you arrive inside there. Then eventually you'll see a face in a wall. Put the thing you bought in that face thing. It makes this thing appear, and then we can get those things. The Caloric ring, which increases stamina, very useful. And also a Titanite slab, which lets you fully upgrade your weapon. Now going back out the way we came, you're gonna want to go ahead and go that way. And then, you know, just do all this until eventually you see that fog wall. Break the ankles of the enemies, Corey Kenshin style, until eventually you make it to this door, which up there is a shortcut back to the bonfire. Now, my friends, we are going to end the last of a species.
My name is Walter Hartwell White.
Go ahead and go back down that shortcut we got, and then make your way on the path seen as in the video. And then eventually you'll come across the fog gate, where we get to kill the last giant. Now make sure you're careful. This boss is extremely hard. Yeah, remember those fire bombs? This is their second use. Use them to cheese this boss. Now go yap with that old lady again, reset, and bam, she's gone. If you go back to Majula, oh my god, there she is. Now you have infinite heals throughout the rest of the game, as long as you have souls to pay for them. So, yeah, let's go. Now, back at the Forest of the Fallen Giants, go ahead and just follow the path on the screen. Now, be careful whenever you're up here, since you're gonna have to go and jump down. My suicidal ass just did it without thinking about it at all. Luckily, I survived, but you might not be as lucky. Now, go inside this cave mineshaft thingy, and then skip through all this troglodyte's dialogue. He will yap to you so damn much, it is so annoying, but eventually he'll give you a key, which we're gonna need. Now, back at Majula, we can open up this house with that key we got. Now, once you're inside, make it through until you get to the basement and find...
Hello, everyone. It is I, the great Papa... What the fuck?
Now, for what you actually came down here for, another Estus Flask Shard. Boss time. Like before, just follow the path on screen straight to the boss room, or fog gate, I guess. And then eventually, you'll... God damn it, I said eventually again. Well, eventually you'll make it to the Pursuer. Now, trust me, you're definitely going to have a little bit of trouble against him. I know I did. But what you should do is pretty much line him up with the little shooty thingy, the crossbow thing, and then, you know, you can pretty much just absolutely rail him with it. So, yeah, it's pretty easy if you figure out how to do that. Now, after penetrating the Pursuer with the crossbow, go and go over here. And then you'll see that there's a little bird's nest. If you interact with it, it'll teleport you. And then voila, a whole new area, and 2 chests and a bonfire. So yeah, W. Back at the Pursuer's boss area, if you go and go down that area, you can actually get a shield and a shitty armor set, but mostly the shield. Now this shield is the Drang Lake's shield. A very good shield since it has 100% damage reduction, and we're gonna need to use it for what we're about to do. Also, just another tip I completely forgot about since I remembered it while recording, there is another Estus Flask Shard up here at the Forest of the Fallen Giants. Now back at this area, go ahead and just once again follow the screen, or whatever, just follow the path, and then we're gonna go to a farming spot that I totally came up with myself and didn't steal from another YouTuber when I did my first playthrough. Now in this corner with the Drang Lake shield, you can literally just sit here and watch the enemies as they literally just kill themselves. Literally the AI just glitches out in this spot and they all just start falling to their death. This is what I used in my first playthrough. I mean, it's definitely effective. It gets extremely tedious and annoying sometimes, but it works. It's a farming spot. Also, back in the Things Betwixt, the spawn area, you can actually find this giant dude, and using fire bombs, you can go and just kill him. He drops a ring. I don't know if it's good or not, but I mean, you can get it if you want. It's just another item to have, so yeah. And so, my friends, that is all I have to show you in this video. There's a couple other things I remembered that I could show y'all, but I am too f***ing lazy for all that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to show y'all. Hopefully y'all have a pretty W start in Dark Souls 2. The rest of the game, good luck with. It's Dark Souls 2. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I guess that's really it now. Bye now.
Oh yeah? A freaky one? Care to explain? I'm curious to know how you're freaky.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, he's freak facing.